I am here today with Girish Pradhan. Girish is the singer for hard rock metal band Girish and the Chronicles. The band comes from the city of Bengaluru in Sikkim, India. And Girish is here today all the way from India, and we appreciate that. They have just released their third record called Hail to the Heroes. It's on Frontiers Records label, and it's the debut for that label, and it's available wherever you get your music. And Girish, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. For people that haven't heard the band, shame on them.
No.
Go check it out. Go check it out because it's incredible. If you're a classic hard rock fan, you're gonna love this stuff. But describe Girish and the Chronicles for people who haven't heard your band. How would you describe the band?
Yeah, I think we really have this sound that's kind of exactly what you described as. We grew up with these bands from the 80s and 70s as well. Actually, if you think about our first record, which was Back on Earth, I mean, it's not there on the streaming platforms, but we have been kind of experimenting with our sound. But yeah, I mean, we've always been dedicated to listening to bands like Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Rat, Dokken, and these kind of bands since we were kids. So we are also from the cassette era, so we kind of this is just what we love, and we just do what we love. That's it, I guess.
Man, and it fits right in there, and man, the stuff is just so powerful. You talk about Back on Earth, the first record not available. Will it ever be available? I'd love to get my hands on a copy of that. Will it ever be available?
Yeah, we really want to do that. In fact, we had already been working on a newer version of the album. We want the whole thing to be heavier and similar to what we've done on Rock the Highway and Hail to the Heroes. But we, at the same time, also, maybe kind of release the old version also, not just give up on that. Mm-hmm. And I think we are going to do it with Frontiers soon enough, I guess.
Excellent. That's good news.
Thank you.
I work with a bunch of young people that like your style of music, and I told them about Girish and the Chronicles. What is the first thing I play for them, though? You have a good catalog of music. You have a lot of great songs. I thought, where do I start with them? What would you want the first thing for somebody who hasn't heard your music? What the first thing they should hear?
As far as this album is concerned, it would be, I guess, Hail to the Heroes as a good introduction. But from our previous album, Rock and Roll is Here to Stay is the song that kind of really defined us, I think, back in 2020. And that's the song that kind of gave us a lot of recognition. And this time it has it's Hail to the Heroes, yes, I guess.
Yeah, and that is a great track, and you have a video for that track as well, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and it's pretty great. Are you going to have more videos? Do you like doing videos?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we've already done 3 videos for this album, which was for Primeval Desire, Hail to the Heroes, and Love's Damnation. And we had also, last year we performed at a festival in Switzerland named Urrock Festival, and we took a lot of footages over there, and we were thinking maybe we can make something for Lover's Train, and we can kind of release that with some sort of a real kind of a video. But I mean, I think we should not overdo it as well. Start looking too.
I love seeing you guys, man. You look great in front of the lens for sure. And Hail to the Heroes is excellent, man. It's just a great video. You mentioned getting that first record out with Frontiers, and I know you signed a multi-album deal. That's what it says in the press release. What exactly does that mean? What's that deal look like for you? It says multi multi-album. Do you know exactly how many albums, or are you guys playing it by year? How's that
Yeah,
deal?
I think the whole plan is like the normal. I think it's a normal trend to bring out an album every 2 years, I guess.
Mhm.
So we are expecting like maybe another 3, 4 albums for sure. At least that's what I'm looking for, and I mean that's how we had been talking about it. And yeah, there's a long way ahead, I guess.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Because Frontiers has been great. There's so much great
Yeah.
music on that label, and every artist I talk to is very happy with their stay
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
Frontier.
Yeah, the way they work is really nice. Everyone's so cooperative, and we just like the way they work. And I think our music is just perfect for that. We had been looking for something like this since our first release, and it was just like finally, it's like it's happening.
Yeah, and I think you guys are even a little grittier, a little heavier than some of the norm at Frontiers, which really expands the label. I think you guys are really doing a justice to the label, even more than greater than it already is. So it's really good
Thanks.
to have you on that label. Tell me about the writing process for Girish and the Chronicles. Is everyone involved? How does that work for you guys?
Yeah, it's just a story of any other band, I guess. It could be like just maybe there are a few songs that I or maybe Yogesh, our bassist, or Suraj, our guitarist. I mean, sometimes we just have these entire songs, that we've already made, like maybe one song each or something like that. Or sometimes we just meet up at the jam pad, where we like rehearsal space. We come up with new riffs and stuff. But in the end, when we are recording and actually giving the song a final shape, we are all involved together.
Mhm.
We don't like to just do it all by ourselves. And even if we like complete the song on our own, we just make sure everyone is there after that, and we again make changes, which kind of and we like sharing ideas and introducing them in the songs. I think that's very important for the songs to sound unique, and like having everyone's perspective on every song is like really nice, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's great to have a full band output, and input to the songs, and to hear a little bit of everybody involved. That's great. You guys are from India. That is it's a selling point for you guys, because it's not
Yeah.
something we see all the time. uh
Yeah.
why don't we see it all the time? What is the scene like in India? Do you have other bands doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I think it's quite a long history. If we go back to the 80s itself, like late 80s had this a few bands, like there was this band called Rock Machine, and they came out with an album at that time. I mean, I didn't even know about it for a very long time, actually, And they were actually I mean, one of the first bands to be aired on MTV, and MTV was big everywhere, right? So I mean, it was the same for India as well, and there there was a huge following of hard rock, heavy metal, and Iron Maiden is like a huge thing over here, for example, and even extreme metal from Lamb of God to Megadeth. I mean, every like band that's big out there in the world is kind of big here too, And
Right.
there is a scene, but it's quite underground because the Bollywood thing is just too big out here, for the common masses, and it's just a small percentage of people who are into I mean, from this in the last 10 years, I would say we were kind of the only band from the younger generation who kind of reintroduced this whole 80s kind of thing, apart from uh, another band from Bangalore, Cryptos. They were already kind of in that heavy metal thing, and Cryptos is like they are even touring Europe every year, which is
Okay.
really cool. And I mean, it's a mixed bag, really.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands. There's this band named Bloodywood that's doing really good, and they are a very experimental kind of a band, more like gent and extreme mixed with a lot of Indian folk and stuff. And but I mean, the core, the stuff we personally love is more like the pure '80s kind of hard rock and heavy metal and whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess we got stuck to that.
Yeah, well, I know, and I've heard you talk that about incorporating some of those traditional Indian sounds into your music. Is that something you want to explore more in the future? Some hard rock with, perhaps a sitar or something, more traditional in the Indian culture.
Oh, well, we have not really thought of that, but yeah, the place where we come from, Sikkim, is actually it's closer to the Himalayas, and it has a very more of a Tibetan kind of a culture going out there, and it's. So I think we would really maybe in the future kind of want to explore that side of things more than the typical Indian classical.
Uh,
Because the sitar and everything belongs to the Indian classical side of things,
Okay.
and I think we are more drawn towards the whole Sikkimese culture, if I could call it that, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not really fixed or anything. We just, I mean, we were working on something like that, but maybe in the later on in the future, it just may not fit in with the GATC sound, or so we might have to do it. I don't know. It's just an idea in our head.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that would be really an interesting thing to hear, I think. It would be interesting for sure. Um, Now your English is immaculate. I mean, it's so great. It's better than mine, I'm sure.
no
uh,
way.
but obviously you have an accent when you speak. You don't sound like you're from Chicago like I do.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but when you sing, that accent is gone. I mean, it's just
Oh yeah,
gone.
it's true.
Is that a conscious effort that you make? I mean, it's amazing the transition from your speaking voice to your singing voice is dramatically
Yeah,
different. I would never guess that you are
yeah.
from India when you sing. Is that a conscious effort that you make when you're recording to not have that accent?
Oh, not exactly, because as kids, we were just trying to copy singers, Steven Tyler, and all these,
Mhm.
and we just wanted to sound as close as possible to them, right? So it kind of became something like an automatic system or something, as soon as you sing rock
Yeah.
or hard rock, anything. Because the only thing that came to my mind was like trying to sound like them, initially, when I was a kid, and I would just practice these songs for hours and hours and record myself and listen to myself, and so I guess it's just become a part of it. It's maybe something like, and what an actor does, when that actor gets into the role, it's just, I mean, that actor might just forget about everything else and just be that person in that script or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so natural for you, and it sounds so great. It's so strong. Your voice is incredible. Um,
Thank you.
what would you say is the biggest difference with this new record as to opposed to something like Back on Earth and the earlier things that you've done a few years
Mhm.
back? What did you try to do something different with this record? How do you think it sounds different? What's the biggest difference?
Yeah, it's completely different to Back on Earth, because Back on Earth, that was 2014, right?
Mhm.
And we were like more into not listening wise, but we wanted to uh, have a very very hard rock kind of an image, more like something closer to Deep Purple, AC/DC, and stuff like that. And because we were covering those kind of bands a lot at that time, and although when it came to listening, we were listening to like stuff like Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, and all these bands. So it's just that we were having a great time covering bands like AC/DC and Zeppelin and these kind of. So we wanted the guitars to be more crunchy and not so heavy with like full on drive and stuff like that. But in the end, no matter what we tried, it always like ended up sounding kind of like heavy metal. But there is a lot of blues influence in the Back on Earth album, But in 2019 and 2020, when we released Rock the Highway, that was when we kind of wanted to be more melodic in nature. We thought, we should just be something similar to what we actually listen to all the time, which were the bands of the 80s, and kind of which falls within Maiden, Judas Priest, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Doc and Rat, and all these kind of bands were actually the bands we were listening to all the time. So, I mean, we kind of decided, let's just go for that kind of sound, and we experimented in that album. So, Rock the Highway was a huge transition. So, now Hail to the Heroes is kind of an evolution of that, I would say. But we kind of found our sound during that time when we released Rock the Highway.
Yeah, and it's quite a sound. It is. Definitely, if you haven't heard this band, I'm telling you, Girish and the Chronicles, incredible band. Tell me about Firstborn. That's a project you're involved with Chris Adler from Lamb of God, correct? Yeah, and James Lomenzo.
Yeah.
Are you is that just a fun thing you do on the side? How serious is that for you?
Yeah, it has always been a fun kind of thing, but at the same time, I mean, we are really serious when we're making the music, really, because it started in 2019 when Chris had come for a drum clinic in India, and he had this 14 city tour, and he kind of wanted three of those tours to be like live shows with actual musicians. So I think he discussed it with his management over here, and kind of we got some calls saying that, do you want to like back up for Chris Adler? And I was like, absolutely, why not? So I kind of sang all the Megadeth songs, and I had another friend who was doing the Lamb of God songs. So it was a clinic at the same time, a live show kind of thing. And like half of GATC band members were also performing. Yogesh was on the bass, Suraj was on the guitars, and we had one more guitarist named Tony Das, who is also like a really well-known guitarist over here. So yeah, I mean, it was a really fun thing, and it was during those days he kind of introduced me to some of the stuff he had been working to. He told me that he had this little project with James Lomenzo and Myron, and like we have been trying to like experimenting on stuff, and like he asked me if I wanted to try out the vocals, and I said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was really excited. I mean, who would say no to that?
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. Any more music coming from Firstborn?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're already kind of working on it, and we had been targeting something like end of summer. Maybe like if everything goes well, maybe it will be released at the end of summer or during summers. I mean, it's already here almost, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I know you got a busy day. I just got a couple more for you. The band is Girish and the Chronicles. How did you get why Girish and the Chronicles? Why not Yogesh and the Chronicles? You know what I mean?
It's quite a long history, because back in during 2006, 7, 8, I was like busy traveling around, just trying to make sense of the whole thing, because I dropped my college and I just wanted to be in a band and just sing and all, and I was kind of it had kind of become my solo thing. I was in Nepal for a year, and then when I came back in 2009, so I was just doing these unplugged shows in one of the pubs in Gangtok, my hometown in Sikkim.
Mhm.
And that's when it just said, Girish Unplugged Nights or something like that outside in the poster. And later on, like Nags, our drummer, and another friend of mine who used to play the bass, he kind of they just came. I mean, we knew each other since 2006 and all, but we didn't really have a permanent lineup or anything. So these guys said, why don't we back you up instead of you doing it alone? Yeah, sure, sure. And then we kind of like having a good time with it. And then I started getting a lot of invitations from these college level festivals, like for competing and somewhere for just as guest bands and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I had a YouTube channel also named Girish Pradhan. Like everything, I released a song named Angel, which was also called Girish Pradhan. So I like it kind of, the word had already gotten out, and I kind of told the guys, like, let's just call it Girish and the Chronicles or something like that. And the
Yeah.
Chronicles, I had this name in my head for quite some times. A friend of mine in Nepal had suggested we should just form a band named the Chronicles, and I just kept it for myself later on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it works well. It works well. Now, are you you've been over here touring. Are you gonna tour on this album? Possibly here in the States?
we hope to, but we don't really have any sort of, I don't know, any agency or anything like that. I mean, we really don't know how it goes actually. But we get a lot of inquiries and stuff like that. Are you coming to the US? It would be good to see. We get a lot of comments and messages and emails like that, and we would really love to. Yes, and let's see if something works out. I mean, that's what we live for, just to go out to the world and perform. That's the most important thing, I guess, in the end.
Yeah, that's do you have a dream gig, a certain venue that you've always wanted to play, or certain festival or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Europe has such great festivals
They
happening,
do.
and but I think I really want to visit Whiskey a Go Go once and just check
Yeah.
out the place. And it's like a historic place, and I always check out the pictures and its history, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah, yeah, it is for us too. I'm on the other side of the country, and I have not been to that venue either. So you and me both, my friend.
Okay, okay.
Well, I hope to see you here in Chicago, or anywhere in the States. It would be great to have you guys. And man, and for, like I say, anybody who has not heard this band, please go check it out. Girish and the Chronicles. Hail to the heroes. It's fantastic record, and I look forward to more music, Girish. This has been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care, my friend.
Take care. Thank
All
you.
right, all right. Bye bye.
Bye.